Good evening and welcome to Week 10 here on Football Friday Night. One more time, rolling alongside Matt Zigai. I'm Jason Geiser here with conference championship and playoff berths, hanging in the balance.
For the 9th straight year, either Coldwater or Marion Local will claim at least a share of the Midwest Athletic Conference Championship. The Cavs and Flyers collide tonight to decide who it will be. Our Katie Gilhooly joins us now with the highlights.
Thanks, guys. After both suffering losses in a crazy week 8 in the Midwest Athletic Conference, Coldwater and Marion Local give us a finale only the boys down in Matt Country can, with a 4-way tie atop the conference standings. The winner tonight guaranteed a share of the conference title, the loser automatically falling out of that top spot. Add the playoff implications that come with this matchup. That's why this Week 10 showdown is our Football Friday Night Spotlight game.
The Football Friday Night Spotlight game is brought to you by Miller Brothers Tire.
The Cavs trying for their first MAC title since sharing it with Marion Local in 2016, but they have to do it away from home as we kick off the action tonight at Booster Stadium. First play of the game, Kyle Mullenkamp on the handoff to Brandon Fleck, who comes out of the bunch all alone, and it's off to the races. He makes one man miss before he's finally brought down to the 30. Then 2 plays later, Mullenkamp to Fleck again, who dives in for the extra yardage and the points. Flyers lead 7-0 early. Next Marion Local possession, Flyers on the QB keep, but Blake Seifring is there on the stop. That holds the Flyers to just a field goal. Second quarter now, Mullenkamp to Charles Hulsman over the middle. He comes down just short of the end zone. Next play, though, Mullenkamp going back to Fleck again, who uses some muscle to finally get it in. Flyers roll to a 24-0 win and a share of the MAC title. They clinch a home playoff game next week in the first round. Coldwater also heading to the postseason. Part of that tie atop the MAC involves Minster, who travels to New Bremen this week. The Cardinals looking to spoil those title hopes for the Wildcats and pick up their first win against Minster in 10 years. Picking up third quarter, Minster with a big lead. Jacob Niemeyer looking for a receiver. He finds Alex Schmidtmeyer over the middle, who gets some extra yardage after contact. Next play, Niemeyer to Brennan Bornhorst down the sideline to put the Cats near the 10. Then it's Niemeyer handing it off to Schmidtmeyer, who finds Pater with ease, and Minster wins big tonight, 42-2 to claim a share of that MAC title as well and clinch a home playoff spot next week. And our final MAC game of the night sees the 4th and final team in the hunt for that conference title. Anna trying to clinch its second straight and second ever MAC title with a win tonight against Delphos St. John's. They've already clinched a playoff spot. First drive of the game, the low snap proves costly. Isaac Egbert flying in and Will Luthman falling on the loose ball. It's Anna. That leads to Bart Bixler on the keeper. He tucks it and is in with ease. Anna leads 7-0 early. Next possession, Riley Hulskamp takes the handoff. He gets spun around but stays on his feet, cuts the other way. It's Hulskamp around the edge, and he's in with ease. It's 14-0 Rockets. St. John's with the ball now trying to get something going, but the Jays' pass is picked off. It's Hulskamp doing it big on both ends with the pick six, and it coast to a 56-7 win to round out the 3-way tie for the MAC title. That's just the 3rd time that's ever happened. In other scores from around the MAC, Parkway takes down St. Henry 33-6. Fort Recovery beats Versailles 41-22.
Thank you, Katie. In the WBL, 3 teams begin the night tied for first place. Co-leaders Wapakoneta and Ottawa-Glandorf square off at Titan Stadium. The winner clinches at least a share of the league championship and a home playoff game. Late first quarter, no score, and this is a man's run by Evan Keck, barreling through a host of would-be tacklers and taking it deep into OG territory. Wapak will miss a field goal to end this drive, however. We are scoreless after 1. In the second, the OG offense comes to life as Jacob Ballbaugh swings it out to his running back, Eric Heapsch, and he has plenty of room. Heapsch takes it inside the Wapak 20 as the Titans are in business, but a few plays later, it's disaster for OG as they fumble the exchange, and it's Keck who recovers. Wapak claims a share of the WBL title and clinches a home playoff game. The Skins win a nail-biter 7-6.
Kenton hits the road for Elida tonight. The Wildcats have already clinched their first playoff berth since 2014 and can now earn a share of their first league title since 2013. Kenton's moving the ball in the opening drive, but Jordan Speller gets defensive, getting to the QB for the sack. However, this Kenton offense just keeps coming right at you. Blaine Houston to Bryce Ellis, and just like that, the Wildcats are on the board. They jump out to a quick 7-0 lead. Oh, I think it's good field position on their first possession. They're going for it on 4th down at the 16, but Noah Eichenberry gets there for the sack. The Wildcats take over on downs, and it's Houston stepping up in the pocket and firing to Jaden Cornell. The All-State junior does the rest, outrunning the Bulldogs to the end zone from 40 out Kenton claims their share of the WBL title, 35-14, and it looks like the Wildcats will be at home in their playoff opener next week. St. Mary's is playoff bound for the 4th straight year. The Rough Riders will enter the postseason on a 7-game win streak. If they beat Defiance tonight, that'll also wrap up a 5-0 home campaign in their first year at Grand Lake Health Field. First quarter, Defiance is trying to spoil that success. Aaron Cruz hits Caden Klein, and the Bulldogs have a 6-0 lead. But St. Mary's gets it going. Ty Howell with the outside run, a little burst of speed. He moves the chains, picking up the first down for the Riders. We move into the second quarter, and it's Howell again, finding the end zone. St. Mary's goes up 7-6, and now the Rough Riders are airing it out. Kurt Bupp going topside to Howell, who walks into the end zone. Bupp throws 3 TDs, and St. Mary's wins 48-6.
Both Bath and Shawnee have been eliminated from playoff contention, but this crosstown rivalry is renewed tonight at Bath. The Wildcats try to snap a 3-game skid, while Shawnee looks for back-to-back victories to close out the season. Pick this one up in the 4th quarter. Bath down to score and driving, and look at Carter Parlapiano breaking tackles, refusing to go down before he's inside the Shawnee 5. That would lead to this, a touchdown plunge from the fullback Kenyon Poling. We are level at 13s and are going to overtime. In the extra session, Shawnee gets it first. John Barker connects with Bryce Casino for the touchdown. The Indians lead at 20-13, but Bath comes right back. Parlapiano takes the pitch, follows his blockers, and fights his way across the goal line for 6. The Cats trail by just 1, and they are going for the win. Lex Bodecker finds Parlapiano, who barrels to the pylon for 2. Bath wins a wild one in overtime. The Wildcats take it 21-20. One other WBL score from this evening, Van Wert beats Salina 45-14.
Much like the MAC and the WBL, we could have multiple champions in the Blanchard Valley Conference this fall, but Liberty Benton can put an end to that by wrapping up a perfect 8-0 BVC campaign tonight against defending state champion Macomb. Big first quarter for the Eagles, already up 21-6. Michael Erdeljack to Bryson Abbott. LB scores 4 TDs in the first quarter. They're up 38-6 at the half. Here comes Macomb in the third. Aaron Davis to Jared Dillon into the end zone. Macomb would pull within 10 in the 4th. The Eagles need a response. They're facing a 3rd and long here. Erdeljack looks, dumps it off to Marshall Rose, who is off and running. It's a huge 28-yard gain for Rose, and later in this possession, Erdeljack fakes and then throws a dime to Marcellus Eckford. Liberty Benton claims the outright BVC title and a playoff berth, 52-35 over Macomb.
An Eagles win shuts the door for Lipsick, who is now eliminated from BVC title contention. The Vikings still playing for postseason seeding, though, as they host Arlington. The Red Devils, meanwhile, need a win to secure a home playoff game. First quarter, no score. Lipsick moving. Drew Liffick rifles it over the middle to Tyler Sickmiller. He picks up the Vikings' first down. Later in the drive, Juan Pena gets the call up the middle, and he powers his way into the end zone. Lipsick draws first blood. Late first quarter now, more Vikings, as Liffick will find an open Fabian Pena, who will shake off a defender, and the rest is history. It's a house call for Pena as the Vikings roll tonight. Lipsick claims the top seed in Region 26. Vikings win big, 30-7. Around the BVC we go. Pandora Gilboa beats Arcadia 42-14, but despite the win, the Rockets do not make the postseason. Corey Rawson closes out their season victorious as the Hornets get past Van Buren 12-7. Meanwhile, Riverdale hammers North Baltimore 54-13. Van Loo plays the non-conference game against Crestline tonight, and the Wildcats fall 42-14. In another non-conference game this evening, LCC clinches the top seed in Region 23. The T-Birds beat Lucas 14-7.
We need to take our first break here on Football Friday night. When we come back, more league titles and playoff positioning on the line. We'll visit the Northwest and the Northwest Central conferences after this. Stick around.
You're watching Football Friday Night. Jason and Matt, back to you. Go Skins!
Thank you, ladies. Well, it's local rivalry week in the NWC, and we begin in Ada as the one-loss Allen East Mustangs control their own playoff destiny. A win tonight against the Bulldogs would clinch the Mustangs their first postseason berth since 2006 and at least a share of their first NWC title since 1995. To War Memorial Stadium we go, and although Ada has been eliminated from playoff contention, the Bulldogs would love to play spoiler tonight, especially after losing 51-0 to these Stangs a year ago. Late third quarter, Allen East up big, and they add to it. Cole Fletcher takes the direct snap, bounces off the pile, and finds daylight. The senior makes it 44-0 Allen East after 3. In the fourth, Ada still playing hard, though, as Brandon Hull plunges forward for the Bulldogs' only score of the game. Later in the quarter, the Mustangs get the backups in, and the freshman Wyatt Paxson gets the call. He finds the edge and splits a pair of defenders as he dives to the goal line for the touchdown. Allen East claims a postseason berth and a share of the NWC title. Mustangs win big, 50-8. Both Bluffton and Columbus Grove have been eliminated from playoff contention, but the Bulldogs have plenty to play for tonight. A Columbus Grove victory would clinch the Dogs a share of their second straight NWC crown. Third quarter, Grove dominating, and they want more. Blake Reynolds pitches it to Gabe Clement. He gets to the edge, weaves through traffic, cuts it back before he finally stumbles down, but he has a Grove first down. Very next play, Reynolds lobs it to Alex Schneider near the goal line, who makes the grab and falls into the end zone as the Bulldogs take a 35-0 lead. Later in the third, Reynolds sets up the wide receiver screen to Clement, who has a convoy of blockers in front of him. It's another touchdown for Grove, who will share the NWC crown. Bulldogs win big, 49-0. Spencerville and Jefferson are in the same boat as both teams have been eliminated from the playoffs, but a win tonight for the Bearcats would clinch them a share of their third straight NWC title, and they would love to do it against their arch rivals from Delphus. Bearcats up 35-0 in the third, but they aren't done. This is Joel Lotz getting to the outside before taking it up the sideline for 40 yards, all the way down to the Jeff Cat 30-yard line. Later in the drive, Lotz caps it off as he goes right up the middle for 6. It's 41-zip Spencerville. Then in the fourth quarter, Spencerville back in the red zone, and Braden Bauer's house is another one. The Bearcats smoke their rivals 55-0. They share this year's NWC championship with Allen East and Columbus Grove. One other score from the Northwest Conference tonight. Crestview closes out their season with a win. The Knights handle Paulding 41-6.
In the Northwest Central, Perry made program history last week, clinching a share of their first ever conference crown. The Commodores can earn the whole thing outright with a win tonight at 3-time defending champ Lehman Catholic. Second quarter, Perry off to a slow start, down 10-6, but they get it going. Ryan Yanks sneaks in. Perry leads at the half, 14-10. First drive after the break, Perry strikes again. Yanks fade. Chaz Jackson. Just like that, it's 22-10 doors. Fourth quarter, Lehman makes a push, literally. Andrew Barhorse pushes his way in. It's a 5-point game, but Perry puts it away. Yanks flipping it to Cameron Dalton. The senior's diving effort is good. Perry wins 30-24. What a season for the Commodores with their first ever outright league title and second ever playoff berth. Waynesfield, Goshen, and Hardin Northern enter the final week of the season as the 8th and 9th seeded teams in the region. They go head to head with only the winner maintaining a shot at a playoff berth. Scoreless in the first quarter tonight. Cooper Roberts takes the QB sneak across the goal line. WG grabs the 7-0 lead. The Boulder Bears answer. Nevin Robson, the sophomore quarterback, rolling and unleashing one deep for Frank McCoy, who hauls it in and houses it. Hardin Northern has the game tied at 7s. And in the second quarter, it's Robson again going topside for McCoy. He's the real McCoy. Hardin Northern wins 21-14. The Bears are back in the playoffs for the first time since 06. Remember, the school had to drop football due to low numbers just 6 years ago. Around the NWCC this evening, USV ends their season with a road win, 32-24 at Elgin, and Riverside is victorious at Ridgemont by a final tally of 39-12.
We're set for our second and final break here on Football Friday night. When we come back, both Lima Senior and Findlay play their season finales, and we check out the final games with league title and playoff implications. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. The Three Rivers Athletic Conference campaign concludes with both of our area teams squaring off against bona fide playoff teams. Neither Lima Senior nor Findlay is officially eliminated from postseason contention themselves entering Week 10. The Spartans are at home needing an upset of Toledo St. John's and an almost unquantifiable amount of help in order to earn their first playoff bid since 2015. The Titans are threatening here inside the 10, but Marzell Copeland bum rushes the quarterback for the sack. Lima holds him to a field goal and trails 20-6. Cecil Benton Jr. starts at QB for the Spartans for a second straight week. He sparks the offense, getting out and running. He's heading our way, picking up 30 yards before being ushered out of bounds by the Titans. And it's just 2 plays later when Benton rolls and fires into the end zone for Larry Ragland. Senior High gets within 14, but they end on a loss, 46-28.
The good news for Findlay is that they control their playoff destiny on the final night of the regular season. Well, the bad news, in order to get in, they need to beat 5-time track champ and undefeated Toledo Central Catholic. Second quarter, the Findlay D is all over John Zell Norrells, but he slips 2 tackles, and now the Trojans have trouble. Norrells takes it 24 yards, and he's in. It's 21-7 Central Catholic, and the Irish can play some D as well. Samaj Cross on the interception here. Findlay falls 42-21.
Cross-county conference, Fort Loramie clinches the outright league title for the second straight year, 82-8 over Tri-County North. Central Buckeye, Mad River Division, Indian Lake ends on a win, 49-13. Ben Logan loses to North Union. Kenton Trail Division, Bell Fountain closes on a W, 48-13 over Tecumseh.
In the NWOAL, Patrick Henry clinches a home playoff game with a 34-14 win over Delta. And in the Green Meadows Conference, Wayne Trace loses to Hicksville, 41-13.
And that is how we wrap up the regular season here on Football Friday Night. We also wrap up the Football Friday Night career of one Matt Zigai. Matt, let the viewers know where you're going.
Well, Jason, I'm off to the Big Apple, where I will be leaving the business for now. But hey, you never know what the future holds. Plus, I'm here tomorrow and Sunday anchoring, so you're not throwing me just yet.
Hey, I'll take you for another year if you got it in you. You know that? Thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you.
So Katie and I will be back here next week, guiding you through the first round of the playoffs. Can you believe it? Please join us then.
Sponsored in part